Hi everyone, my name is Wayne Tiampati. I am the founder and the CEO of Elevate the Young. We are an organization that is located and is based in Kajiado County. We work to create awareness on child protection and youth psychosocial and economic empowerment. We work with partners to create awareness on the same. Our vision is a society where all children are protected from all forms of abuse and youth are socio-economically empowered. Our organization was founded on two pillars, the Little Children Program and the Future for the Young Program. These two pillars show our dedication and drive towards our communities and our society.
Elevate the Young presents their first series in Kajiado County. Let's get to hear what young people in Kajiado said about mental health effects.
We have several issues that we need to discuss, among them being drugs and substance abuse and a myriad of other factors. I would like my friend here to tell us a little or a few things about drug and substance abuse. Mr. Gideon,
Yeah.
please take us through.
Thank you, Gideon. I'm glad to be part of you. Okay, drugs and substance abuse, mental health. Drugs. Okay, let me say this. I need to ask. The first thing that I'll do is to ask a question to my youths, my fellow youths here, and guys. Why do you prefer to use drugs? Why do you prefer to be in drugs when you have something that is distracting your mind, when you're in a problem? Okay, according to me, it's not a solution, because after my long time looking on this, I've found that this is a way of distraction. You destroy yourself. There is no way you need to solve a problem and you get to another problem. In fact, that is getting yourself to another problem. Okay. What I can tell you as my fellow youths, when you have a problem, when you have something that is, you have a problem, certain problem, and you are in trouble or whatever, don't go and relieve yourself into a club or anything else that shall destroy your life. Be cool, relax. The moment you take that alcohol, there are drugs, in fact, that when you take this drug, they destroy your life permanently. You may be sober as you think, but let me tell you, there is somewhere in your body, somewhere in your brain. In fact, other people they got other diseases. You are done medication and you are still going to take alcohol. What for? Please, it's okay. It's called to enjoy, but can you please, can we be strong and know how to handle our issues, particularly when it comes to hardships. So thank you.
Gender-based violence has also been impacted or has become a result of poor mental health, especially in families. We would like to ask, what is the correlation between mental health and SGBV, especially in our communities and in our families?
Okay, mental health among the community and society, it has also been caused by sexual violence and also gender-based violence. So you'll find that in most communities they encourage the gender-based violence, where they mostly deal with the ladies, whereby you'll find the ladies, they are mistreated in the society. Or also you'll find that girls, they are being meant to undergo the FGM. So you'll find that mainly this will affect them mentally, because you'll find that, like, the ladies or the girls, maybe they'll feel that they are not fit to be in that society because they have not undergone the FGM. Also, you'll find that in some families, you'll find that the ladies, when there is separation between the husband and the wife, it will affect the children, whereby they'll feel that they are not comfortable to stay in that. They are not comfortable, and you'll find that it will cause psychological trauma in them. And also you'll find that the children, they'll not feel that they are fit in the society, because when they look back at maybe their friends, you'll find that maybe their friends, they come from a well-being family, and tell them they come from a family that is separated. So these will mentally affect the children, the youths, even those who are in schools, they'll be mentally affected in the schools. Also, you'll find that mental health will be caused by, maybe if there was rape cases in the community, you'll find that that person who underwent the rape cases will be psychologically be traumatized. Also, you'll find that maybe if not a person who was not raped, also a friend, like a friend or a youth in the community, they'll carry that burden as their own. So you'll find that still they'll be traumatized, because they will think like, what if it happened to this friend or this person? So they think that they are the next people who are going to be raped. So you'll find that they are not so fit in their mentally.
So, do you feel that women and girls are more at a disadvantage when it comes to SGBV and mental health awareness?
Okay, yes, the women and girls, I think they are disadvantaged, because you'll find that maybe these ladies or girls, they feel that when they go, maybe like when they go and wear out their views to other ladies in the community, they'll feel like they will be isolated.
When it comes to mentorship, what do you say about psychological health and mental health and the effects that it has, or the effects that it brings with the lack of mentorship or
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Wayne. My name is Eden. On that note of mentorship, unaangalia kitu kama like watoto wenye they are physically challenged, watoto wenye wazazi wao hawako. Like the case, umejua mimi I'm a victim. Mzazi wangu ambaye alikuwa breadwinner alikufa nikiwa class 2. Dad. You see how tulikuwa mentored kwa hiyo familia. You know you are lacking a father. Mother peke yake kama boy hawezi kufunza vitu zingine. You see hata hizi vitu zina correlate na how vijana wanapata AIDS. Unaona mwanaume hata hajafunzwa how, like a simple thing, how to use a condom. Na baba yake hayuko, mama hawezi take that responsibility. You see hiyo kitu inakuja ina affect hata society. Unapata vijana wana behave abnormally. Ingekuwa ati tuko na society ama kuna organization yenye inaweza cater for that, ingekuwa afadhali. Kitu ya ingine ni basic needs.
Culture, being a set of attitudes and beliefs, also affects our mental health. We would like to get the understanding of how culture affects young people and their mental health.
I'm Amos Kimunyak, and this is my take when it comes to, cultural and communal expectations. This issue of mental health has causes, and I would like us to start from the causes. There's a struggle for relevance and significance across our society. And what causes this mental health issue? Number one is the shattered beliefs. There are beliefs that has not come to pass. People plan, people strategize, but it comes not to fulfill. When I say shattered beliefs, basing it on culture, there's a way we were raised, there's a way we were educated, and in the course of our destinies, whichever platform we have passed through, there is a knowledge we have grasped, and it becomes part of our belief system. And many a times, those beliefs that we have built within time, sometimes they can be shattered. So when these beliefs are shattered, that is a mental health issue already. The second thing is broken promises. There are promises in our society, in the family, in the church, in school, in whichever area of our lives. you'll meet people with promises. Some have been promised this, others have been promised this. So sometimes they are broken. They don't come to that point of fulfillment. And that is what causes the issue of mental health. When a promise is broken, then there's an issue of depression in somebody's health. Then number 3 is those unfulfilled expectations. There are expectations that has not come to fulfill. You know, you expected that by this point of life, by now, at least you are driving, or you are married, or you have finished this education level. But because of circumstances of life and the ups and downs, those expectations end up unfulfilled. And that frustrates our mind and causes depression. And it becomes a mental health issue. But over and above, I believe there's a solution to this mental health issue when it comes to now relating it to these 3 causes. Over the course of my life, I have been a victim of depression, isolation, and neglection. There are broken promises in my life that have broken, expectations that have not come to pass, beliefs that has been shattered. Yes, I am a victim, but today as I stand here, through experience and through encounters, I have come to at least find an answer. What has helped me and bailed me out of that sickness, of that depression, I'm going to illustrate in 1 minute, and then we will see how it is. So, when I say I was a victim, there was a day I was suffering from depression until the day I came out of that illness. And the day I came out of illness is when I encountered this reality. For me, there's a point in my life in which I was introduced to new friends. And these friends of mine, they took me to church. And when I started attending fellowships, you know, being in the presence of God in worship, in word, there's a working which is a formula that God can only understand. It's a divine technology. So when I went to church, slowly by slowly, I was bailed out from this issue of depression. And that's when I settled, my soul was at peace, and I became stable in life. That's why I want to end with this scripture in the book of Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 and 6. The Bible says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding." Verse 6, "In all your ways submit to him, and he will direct your path." What I want to say in the revelation of this scripture, there is a divine knowledge that is only known unto God. In fact, it is the Lord that causes the suns to rise and to set. It is the Lord that puts the clouds together and bring rain to the earth. It is him who directs the wind. It is him who is responsible with the formation of babies in the womb of their mothers. So there is a divine wisdom that is above humanity. So when it comes to issues that you don't know, those shattered beliefs, broken promises, things that you don't understand, you can't fathom with your human mind, leave it them unto God. In fact, submit unto the Lord, and he will direct your path. There's a wisdom that is only godly. That's why the Bible said, let us trust in him and lean not on our own understanding. We submit to him, and he will direct our path. Thank you so much.
We have to an extent understood that culture and our belief system, they ground us to a certain extent on how and the when and what to do when it comes to our mental health. And on that note, we need to understand, what about in our schools? What about in our peer relationships with our friends and our relatives? Let's take a look, or let's get an understanding of how mental health and how our beliefs and how our culture influences the kinds of relationships that we have in school vis-a-vis the peer relationships and the pressures that come with being a student in our campuses.
My name is Christine, so I'll be tackling peer pressure in colleges. Let me reflect back on my time in school. I'm not too old, but at least I know what used to happen then is still what happens even now. There's been a lot of pressure from people. You join campuses, that is when you get new people you really do not know, people from different parts of the country, and you have to accustom yourself to knowing them, and the belief system, the whatever, yani lazima mzoeane, mjuane vizuri. But I think peer pressure, it just happens from day one. There are people I have seen all through campus, you have different friends all through. Definitely everyone has the way they impact your life. And sometimes, let me say, I used to see people, sometimes you want to live the life that others are living, forgetting that financial constraints sometimes are a big problem, and you'll do anything just to live the kind of life that others are living. And sometimes it affects people because, for example, people want to go out. And I will say this, I think it's normal for people to, it's not normal, but it's a culture for people to be going out to clubs, you go out to all the fun places in campuses. The problem only comes with the pressure that comes with it. This thing ya nani amekunywa zaidi ya wengine, nani alifikisha asubuhi, the last man standing at that time. So it causes a lot of, unakuta watu, you're drinking just for the sake of proving a point to others, but you forget you're hurting yourself. And sometimes inakuwa by the end of campus, there are people who are addicts by then. And yani, at the end of the day, peer pressure is impacting you negatively, but you may not realize it. And I think it has also gotten to a point whereby girl child, and I won't say the girl child only is getting hurt, because at some point even guys are a part of this. Unakuta you, wherever you're coming from, the financial stability of your place is not really okay. Lakini you want to live like the people in that town. So sometimes relationships, kuna sponsors, kuna times you're just in love with someone from your school, but at least they come from a family that is, at least they are financially stable, and you want to live the good life. But at the end of the day, it even causes mental torture because haujajikubali vile wewe uko. And I think it's time we start working towards knowing ourselves and choosing what you deserve, not what others think is right. Thank you.
On that issue of relationships, what about the concerns that come from when people get those STIs or STDs, and even worse still, committing abortion? What is your take on that?
When we talk about STIs, there are people that are prone to keep things to themselves. Mostly for these people that we say they are introverts. And you're not confident enough to stand up and seek treatment. You're not confident enough to even talk to the partner that you're with and tell them that you've developed an infection and you need to seek treatment. Or you know, sometimes even just talking to someone, it lowers your mental stress. So now at this time you contract infections and you can't really talk about it. For one, you can imagine someone that can't sit, you can't walk, you can't stand, you can't even leave the house to go far. And it lowers your mental stability. This is something that causes a lot of problems for us. I will say mostly for the girl child, and then we live in a society whereby there is a lot of stigma. So you cannot stand up to people and say, this is what is going on and this is what we need to do. Or you just agree to change. So sometimes we just need to seek a better mechanism of making decisions. We just need to be mentally aware. We just need to get people to be more mentally aware, because that is how you'd be able to avoid these issues that are arising in the society.
With all the stigma that is associated with poor mental health, there comes the underlying issues of suicide. What do you think about people taking their own lives because of the stress and the anxiety and all these other mental health issues that people face, and yet they do not want to talk about their issues? What do you think?
Okay, thank you. I'm Jeremy. And my take on your question is this. In the society that we are living in today, people tend to pretend to be what they are not. And to face the reality, sometimes we have to accept the kind of people we are, and accept that those issues are in your life. Number one cause of suicide, you find it's stigmatization from others. When the society cannot accept you you keep on thinking in your mind, yani hiyo kitu inashinda ikiring kwa akili yako. The last thing unaona ni kama solution, you say let me just take away my life, sababu you think like I'm rejected, yani people have been pointing at me, something like that. Another thing you find, wakati mtu amekuwa hiyo depressed sana, some people go to drugs. After using that drug for so long, you find we mwenyewe unakuwa that mentally challenged, of which unaona ni kama the next issue, yani me I'm just a failure in life, yani unaona ni kama I can't do anything, so you just take your life away. And it's not the solution for whatever people are doing nowadays, because hata kama utachukua life yako away, you leave others with that regret and that pain. So we must face the challenges that we get, following the solutions, the proper solutions, not taking our lives away. Nowadays in families we have lack of finances, you have vitu kama mipango za kando. Unapata watu instead of facing the reality, my wife akona mpango wa kando, how will I handle it? Unapata huyo mtu anaenda kukunywa sumu. Ama unapata bibi anasema mzee wangu hana kitu, mimi sina kitu, watoto pia ndio wana struggle. So anaona the only solution ni uwe bibi, ni uwe bwana, ni uwe watoto. So I think it's not the solution. We mwenye kaa na bwana wako chini, mueleze fulani, I got with someone, ni nini ilifanya mpaka ukafika mahali hapo. Talk. Nowadays we tend to look for solutions rather than looking for ile cause ile jambo. So I think we should be looking at the cause of the incidents than the short-term solutions kwa hizi mambo za mada, because hata nowadays unapata watoto wa shule wanajua. Mtoto wa shule anajua kwa nini. Maybe labda condition ya nyumbani si favorable, ama labda stress shule. I think counseling itasaidia watu pakubwa. Yes.
With the cases of suicide that have been in our country, which begs the question, why are people really killing themselves? What are we doing as a community? What are we doing as a society? What are we doing as friends? What are we doing as family members? What are we doing as parents? What are we doing as sons and daughters? We need to help each other out so that we at least mitigate on the rising cases of suicide that has been affecting our youth and the older generation in particular. With that, I would like to make an urgent call to action for everyone. Be your brother's keeper. We need, as much as possible, to get people on board. We need to create support groups and give a shoulder to lean on and an ear to listen to the problems that people have. We need to help one another out, because once we start helping each other, it creates a community, it creates a society whereby people can be able to express themselves. We need to have those platforms whereby people can talk about what they feel and about what is important to them. Thank you very much.